Good afternoon. You're looking live over Columbia this Friday, March 12th. Here's what's making news at this hour.
Well, it's been a rather dreary Friday afternoon for us. It continues into your weekend. I'll have the details coming up.
Slowing down. New speed limits in Columbia for residential streets.
Train troubles. The future of Amtrak's routes are in question after Governor Nixon's multi-million-dollar budget cut.
And finding a home for Fido. New hours at the Humane Society mean more times to adopt. KOMU 8 News, first at 5, starts now.
Live from Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5.
New speed limits for residential areas in Columbia. Good afternoon, I'm Daryl Kirkland Morgan.
And I'm Jim Reek. Thanks for joining us. The Columbia City Council passed an ordinance last fall decreasing the speed limits on residential roads, but it also includes roads like Conley Road. That's the road that runs along Highway 63, just south of I-70, in front of the Walmart. That's where we find KOMU 8's Joe Beth Davis. Joe Beth, why the change in speed limits?
More traffic means more accidents. That's why the Columbia City Council voted to lower residential speed limits from 30 to 25. But not all of the numbers are going down. On Conley Road behind me, you'll actually be able to drive a little bit faster. The Columbia City Council approved the ordinance to make these changes back in fall of last year after a study at MU showed these changes would help prevent wrecks. The second the signs are up, police will enforce the new limits. That means there's no grace period for drivers to get used to the change.
An added benefit to changing the residential streets to ensure that cars are safe, pedestrians are safe, and that the speeds are lowered in residential areas so there's not as much traffic moving fast.
Coming up at 6, I'll let you know some of the busier streets where you'll notice a change. Reporting live in Columbia, Jo Beth Davis, KOMU 8 News.
Well, temperatures didn't warm up all that much this afternoon. We topped out at only 45 degrees across the area, and we look to stay pretty close to that temperature heading into your overnight hours. We fall back into the lower 40s and then upper 30s as we near midnight. We're continuing to keep those light little showers in the forecast, and they will continue into your Saturday as well. We will have a drying period up ahead in the work week. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michelle.
Today, Amtrak ran a regular schedule one day after Governor Nixon announced $500 million in state funding cuts. KOMU 8's Ryan Takeo is in the studio with more. Ryan?
Daryl, Amtrak is losing $1.1 million from its budget. The cut could put the brakes on an industry gaining momentum. Train ridership in the state is up since November. The state also received $31 million in federal funding in January. The change would eliminate one of 2 daily trains between St. Louis and Kansas City, but one MoDOT official says change is not imminent.
We're going to do everything we can to work with Amtrak to try to come up with a workable solution so that we do not have a stop in service on this corridor. But I do think this budget cut, there is a possibility of a service interruption, but it's too early to tell.
Coming up at 6, the governor says why he cut Amtrak's money. Plus, we'll visit Jefferson City's Amtrak station and see what a worker there thinks of the cut.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Young Missourians looking for summer jobs could find work at state parks. KOMU 8's Aaron Stevenson is live to tell us more about a new summer jobs program. Aaron?
Jim, I'm here at Rockbridge State Park, where this summer you might find teens hard at work. That's thanks to the Missouri State Park's Youth Corps program. The Corps plans to employ about 1,000 young workers between the ages of 17 and 24. Park workers say members of the Youth Corps will do simple tasks around the 85 parks included in the program. Here at Rockbridge, workers will help redirect overgrown trails and help fix some park facilities. The park's naturalist told me one of the problems the workers could help solve is removing invasive species from the area. Governor Jay Nixon praised the program today, saying outdoor activities are part of what makes living in Missouri so great.
These experiences, many Missourians, including me, have shared with their families over the years, and I want them to share for years to come.
Workers in the Corps can work for up to 240 hours at $7.25 an hour. You can find a link for more information on the program, as well as an application on our website at KOMU.com. Reporting live in Columbia, Erin Stevenson, KOMU 8 News.
Okay, Erin, thank you very much. After a 3-year discussion on the topic, Westminster College is going smoke-free. This past year was a transition period with various designated smoking areas around campus. As of July, those areas will go away and smoking will be completely forbidden on campus grounds unless you're in a car. Student input was a big part of the decision, but there are still some who aren't happy with the adjustment.
And we have students who are very committed to this particular habit, and we respect their right. We just don't want, we want them to understand the other side of this.
A lot of people are very in favor, and then the smokers are obviously very against it, and it's been all over Facebook, of course. Everyone's statuses are enraged or so excited.
The campus radio station is planning a segment where students can call in and talk with administrators and voice their opinions on the issue.
Finally, some good news when it comes to the economy. An illegal alternative to an illegal drug. KOMU 8's Emily Spain has your First Nation report.
It's already illegal in some cities and counties in Missouri, and in a week, K2 will officially be legal in Kansas. And now there is a legal alternative to K2 on the market called Hawaiian Haze and Maui Hybrid. The drugs don't contain any of the chemical compounds reportedly found in K2, making it legal to sell. February's retail sales numbers are in and things might be looking up. Today's report shows sales posted a surprisingly increase in February. It's the biggest advance since November, a 0.3% jump. Many economists actually expected sales to decline by 0.2%. Auto sales did, however, fall by 2%. A severe storm system moved through southwest and central Florida overnight, damaging homes. Polk County officials are trying to evaluate damage to several areas. Mobile homes were damaged and trees were knocked down in Citrus County. 3/4-inch sized hail fell on Florida's Atlantic coast. The National Weather Service is investigating whether it was a tornado or just severe wind. That's a look at your First Nation report. Let's go to Elizabeth Billingsley in Studio 8B with your First World Report.
Thank you, Emily. In Israel, police clashed with rioters after temporarily sealing off the West Bank. Israel barred Palestinians from crossing into Israel and Jerusalem. Police also prevented men under 50 from entering the mosque for weekly prayer. A deadlock in peace talks sparked this latest tension between the groups. The group Doctors Without Borders says 2 aid workers were released yesterday after being kidnapped following the Haiti's earthquake. The group members say they are relieved their colleagues are back safe and sound. The organization says it will review its operations in Haiti following the kidnappings, but says it is committed to helping quake survivors recover from the disaster. The African nation of Niger says it needs international aid to combat food shortages this year. Earlier this week, Niger announced that it needs $123 million in international aid. Humanitarians warn food shortages could create more instability in the country. Niger's military rulers have accepted the UN's estimates that at least 200,000 children face severe acute malnutrition, a condition that requires hospital treatment. And that's your first look around the world tonight.
All right, thank you. The Central Missouri Humane Society is extending its hours. Right now, the Humane Society is open Thursday through Monday, but starting on April 5th, it will be open Monday through Saturday from noon to 5. On Wednesdays, it will be open until 9 p.m. The staff says the ultimate goal is to find homes for more animals.
We're just trying to reach out to the demand of the community, so we want to make sure that we're accessible as much as possible, so we will be increasing our hours and hopefully increase adoption.
Toth says the staff decided to close on Sundays because it's the shelter's slowest day.
While a trip to the dentist might seem like a normal thing to do every 6 months, these kids had their first visit today.
Carrying your baby in a sling is an easy way to keep both hands free, but experts want to make sure you're keeping your kids safe at the same time.
And this weekend looks to be very different from what we experienced last weekend. We'll continue to keep the clouds and some precip in the forecast. We'll take a look coming up right after the break.
You're looking live over Fulton. This is KOMU 8 News, First at 5, coverage you can count on.
Coming up tonight, there's been another close call in the air. What do we do about the fact that geese and airplanes use the same space? That story and more coming up tonight.